YouTube. Let me just get Instagram going as well. And good day to Instagram as well. Okay, episode 469. Titter, titter. I hear the giggles at the back of the room. I'm streaming at 12 noon, high noon, because I hope, I endeavour to have more energy. And don't get me wrong, I don't claim to have what I would describe as children's TV presenter level energy. So yeah, to be energetic and entertaining, full bore at all times. I'm prompted to mention this because I do watch Russell Brand, and you know, Russell is a boundless comic, you know, insofar as he's always been, he's always been that guy. You know, when you say Russell Brand, you don't think of subtlety, and he's always got that high energy. And I noticed that his streams, look, the difference is, it's not excuse making, this is just the reality of streaming. I'm speaking of myself and probably, hopefully, many streamers, you're practicing in public. That's the reality of live streaming, as opposed to uploading a video once you've got that video and you've made your edits. Also, I'm going to stop making excuses for my lack of technical knowledge. The only thing or the only person preventing me from, for example, learning how to edit is me. Now, I'm not going to suggest for 1 minute it's going to be a cakewalk. It's very true what they say, nothing in life worth having is a piece of piss, nor should it be. I guess my point is, as much as I adore and have really rabbit holed my sort of fascination with these things, which I'm streaming to now, smart slabs, my reluctance to call them phones, because I truly believe it's almost insulting to their tech to reduce them to phone. You know, if you look at a telephone, you know, the act of phoning someone, not only have we changed the way we do that, but the functionality in a utilitarian sense of our smart slabs has changed. So I call them smart slabs because they are slabs of joy. Next Friday the 25th, it's hello mate, you're right, how are you? So yeah, I mean, just really, like I say, I'm going to stop making excuses for my lack of tech prowess. The reason I'm mentioning it is because I was watching a video this morning on the tube. I've got in the corner of the room here my stationary bike, and I was doing my cycling, my cardio. I was watching a video. I've forgotten who by actually, some media company, but they were talking about how basically blokes my age shit themselves when it comes to tech. Generation X and obviously older than me, boomers, really err on the side of caution and go to shit. Really, you know, we often go to pieces faced with the prospect of editing. You know, if you put a MacBook Pro in front of me and said, "Go on then, house," you know, take yourself for half an hour, chop it up, edit that, do a good thumbnail, improve how you look, mate, change factors, speaking of which, let me lower that light, that's too bright, I don't know, is it? Oh, whatever, anyway, but there's so much that I fear with the whole, actual computer bit. So anyway, I can't be the guy that goes, oh, I love smart slabs as much as I do. Obviously, next Friday, a week tomorrow, Samsung, nationally, well, probably globally, isn't it? Release their new. I'm very much looking forward to. So, according to Tinterweb, 25th, which is next Friday, that's where everyone should be, you know, in the public sector, should be receiving their phones. Very excited about that. I'll unbox it live here, of course. But yeah, today, like I say, going to 12 noon in the hope that I improve each day. Because at the end of the day, like people are either going to watch this or they're not. And like what I'm realizing is it doesn't really matter anymore when I stream. Does that make sense? Because it's just you go onto YouTube and you don't necessarily look at somebody you like and go, oh yeah, I'm only going to watch it if they're on at the exact time I want them to be on. Number one, I've got a tiny audience, and number two, if people want to watch it, they can watch it on YouTube or Instagram at whatever time suits them. So yeah, that's really, and I think there's a greater chance of me performing better at 12 noon each day than there is at 8 p.m. I've got to accept some physical limitations I've got. In the evening, I get very tired very quickly. I'm often in bed by 9 o'clock. So, I know it's really, really boring, but it's true. So yeah, and I'm not going to stream for any more than sort of 30 minutes. I don't think, again, I'm not at the level of an Owen Benjamin or a Rogan where you've got an audience so big and diverse that people are going to want to watch you for 3 hours, and they've got like Tim Pool or whatever, they've got super chats, and these people are taking years to build their base. Yeah, it's a lucky streamer that streams for a year and just explodes. Well, I'm just looking here because I've taken a couple of notes. So energetic / entertaining, practicing in public, which is essentially what I'm doing. 469 episodes of this. They're all practices. They're all leaps of faith. They're all flawed. They're all live, super live, and unedited, obviously, and unscripted. But in future, I'm just thinking, whatever hesitancy, whatever hang-ups I've got about the tech side, it doesn't quite add up, because I'm questioning myself now. How can I, on the one hand, have such a fixation and an interest, a legitimate interest, adoration in the functionality, the performance of smart slabs, what they offer. There's so many elements of the smartphone industry. I reluctantly call it smartphone industry for a minute, just to refer to it, because that's its current moniker. I hope they change it to something better. But yeah, look at the strides in camera. That's probably the single biggest component of smart slabs that's just gone off the Richter scale. I was thinking about that again today, looking at something back in 2017, just a mere, what's that, 5 years ago. The iPhone 10, it's, and of course this year will be the iPhone 14. The exponential growth in cameras. It is the selling point. I feel. I think personally, I think it's a scrap between screens and cameras. I really do. Knowing what I now know about smartphones, if I was to just split it into two columns of all-out war, usability, i.e. the end user, what do they interface with the most, I think above everything. I mean, even above design, even above aesthetic, ergonomic, how it feels, the ergonomics, the aesthetic look of it, the backplate, even the camera, it's screen, because the screen is the thing you look at and touch constantly. You can't, I find that argument very hard to upturn, to fight against that argument. The screen, it's head and shoulders above everything else in terms of its importance, its attractiveness, it's the way you interact with it, the way everything you type, look at, use, send, receive, you know, the screen. That's why Samsung's winning that, because the superiority of their screens. Now, the second place thing, obviously the camera. I know people go on about batteries, but personally, again, we're living in a time where charging is such a non-issue. I don't know why so many YouTubers, a little bit of a rant, I know, but I don't know why so many YouTubers, I mean, they actually do, they must be of interest to people because they make the videos, but YouTubers do entire videos devoted to battery draining tests. People go, oh, my phone lasts for 8.5 hours and your phone lasts for 10.5 hours. Really? I mean, number one, none of us do that. I don't know a single human, myself included, that goes, hey, I got 8 hours out of mine today. What was your screen on time? Was it 5 hours? You know what I mean, in terms of interaction with your damn device. I find the battery argument and the battery battle to be very odd. So long as you're getting 5 hours and more, cool. Yeah, that one perplexes me. It really does. Currently, iPhones are smashing it. iPhones are like 10.5 hours, specifically the 13 Pro Max, above everything else. And then you're into the, sort of S21 and S22 Ultras, both of which I'm a fan of, and obviously we'll be owning the Ultra next week, 22 that is. So, yeah, cameras for me are the one, after screens, cameras, much more so than battery longevity. Again, you could be in your car, at your office, in a coffee shop. There's PowerPoints and chargers galore. Most people have access to a USB charger, and if you don't, well, wise up to it. But home or office or out, I just think it's rare these days to let yourself run down like that. I really do. Anyway, so there's enough on smartphones. Like I say, I just want to do this with a bit more buoyancy, a bit more sort of upbeat joy to streaming. I don't think it's going to affect anything in terms of looking at my viewing figures. Look, this business of streaming to YouTube, and I keep threatening myself with trying Twitch, and there's other streaming services, Gab and Odyssey and Rumble, and I don't know. There's other alternatives. I'm and social media wise, you see Getter getting bigger, which I'm on. I understand that, but look, we're living in a mental time. We're living in a bizarre time. Like I say, this is me trying to move forward with 12 noon streams rather than 8 p.m. streams. I'll for the few people that watch, I've done a post on my Insta, and I'll do one elsewhere on wherever I need to. That's really me today. Not going to go into the news so much, because again, I feel like I'd be screaming into the void. What am I going to do? Talk about Joe Rogan or Canadian truckers? Just there's certain talky points these days that are just everyone's talking about them. Again, you've only got to go on your feed for Goog or YouTube just to see yourself inundated with the current news cycle, whether it be Ukraine or Canada or the culture war with the cancel culture coming for Rogan's head, etc., etc., etc. Those at the moment in the cyclical nature of news are the ones that are yeah. Well, I tell you what I watched the other day on Netflix because it's sort of a segue. Inventing Anna. True story about a girl. Gosh, I can't think of her surname, but apparently, well, she claimed to be a German heiress, and she moved to New York, and she was only like a young kid, 24, 25, and she blagged it. She simply, we've all met blaggers. Everyone's trying to blag, fake it till you make it. And long story short, she blagged her way very nearly. She got on a perch to the point where she was about to get $40 million in a loan to buy a property because she wanted to make like an exclusive members club, like VIP within the VIP, club within a club experience, so the uber trendy, super rich people of New York would congregate, in this one club. And she even had the hubris because she's a complete narcissist. I'm trying to think of her surname. Let me just consult my iPad a minute. Let's have a look here. Inventing Anna.
These pictures should match.
That's it. Her name was Anna Delvey. Very, very, very well played by Julia. Yes, Julia Garner. For those of you that are fans of Ozark, and frankly, if you're not a fan of Ozark, you're no friend of mine. I'm serious. If you don't like Ozark, I don't understand you. If you don't appreciate Ozark, I don't even like you. There you go. you know, yeah. If you don't like Ozark, then I think you don't like good acting and good storytelling. But it's Julia Garner. She's 28 in the real world, and she played this Anna Delvey. That's interesting. That's interesting. I just noticed on the note of Julia Garner. Like I say, sorry, I didn't even explain why. She's obviously in Ozark, and she plays Ruth in Ozark. She's tipped to play Madonna. Now, that would work. Madonna fans think, when was this written? Okay, this was written in August 2020, so a couple of years ago almost, isn't it? Good choice or nah? Madonna fans think Star is eyeing Julia Garner for rumoured biopic. I can kind of see that. That I'm just looking. Look, let me show you. Do you see what I mean? So, look, I mean, there was recently a superb depiction. Our British Lily James, very attractive girl. She's in Baby Driver, but she recently did Pam and Tommy, or Tommy and Pam, on Netflix. Absolutely spot on. I mean, spot on. The looks, the mannerisms, the nuances, the idiosyncrasies of, peak 90s Pamela Anderson, of course, Baywatch. For a Gen Xer like me, that 92 when I was 20, oh, those were the days, man. You know, watching Baywatch in the sort of 92, 93, 94. Oh, gosh. Oh, it's so annoying that you can't go back in time. It's so annoying. Talk about happy times. Ay, 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 ay. It's so annoying, life. You know, I've just turned 50 recently. And yeah, it's one thing I struggle with on a daily basis is just the understanding that, you know, short of inventing time travel, you can't go back. And I suppose, well, it's time. Well, you could have that conversation in another stream, but if a person, you know, if I went back, you'd have to take everyone with you, wouldn't you? You couldn't just go back on your own. You'd have to have your entire timeline, and I suppose everyone in your sort of trajectory go back with you. Like, you know, for example, I'd like my parents to be there still. You know, don't know how it would work. So that's why so many time travel films cock it up, frankly. But yeah, the reason I mentioned Julia Garner for Madonna and Lily James as a great, you know, job as Pamela Anderson, it's very encouraging these days to see young actresses, you know, whether they be American or UK, you know, around that 25 to 30 age, and they're incredibly talented and versatile is the word I'm looking for. Incredibly versatile. We've got some really, really, and I'm not just saying it, but personally, I think the level of actress now far exceeds back in the day. It was like Meryl Streep and, you know, Glenn Close or. But nowadays, I look at, you know, like Jessica Chastain. In fact, that's what I should do. Is I should do a stream on actors, my appreciation of, you know, certain actors. Oh, that's interesting. Inventing Anna's Julia Garner, that's the actress. She reveals her bizarre meeting with the real life Anna Delvey in person. Now, this article was written by the Mail, watch out, a day ago. Inventing Anna's Julia Garner reveals she had a bizarre meeting with the real life Anna Delvey. That's obviously the subject matter, Inventing Anna, this little blagger, with the real life Anna Delvey in prison in an interview with Marie Claire, Australia. Interesting. Because obviously this girl, this Anna Delvey, not a German name, she basically palmed herself off as a German heiress, large as it, living in the fast lane in New York. I'll tell you what was impressive actually. Here's the thing. She managed to get certainly 200 grand, which is still a truckload of money, just as like an upfront almost gesture from the bank. And it transpires that the people who, you know, because loans have to have a guarantor, you know, you have to obviously, if you're the bank and you're lending out a vast sum of money to anyone, that person, you know, the applicant has to prove they have the means of you know, adequate payment if required to do so. And what this girl did, and this is really like a head exploding moment, she using a voice manipulator, which, you know, you can get on an app. The banker who was going to approve her 40 million to buy a property on some famous street in New York, was about to approve this colossal loan, and all she did was to use a voice disguising device on a phone via an app, so she sounded like her father, because that was her floater, her investor. Well, she was going to inherit, you know, an heiress, obviously, the father. My gosh. Interesting. Goodness me. Goodness me. Yeah, it's pictures of this girl in court. It's unbelievable. Sorry, I'm just absolutely fascinated by it. I'm just reading it. Um, wow, wow. So do give that a go on Netflix. And yeah, I mean, Julia Garner, she's a very talented actress. Um, she with interesting. She's weird. She basically plays it. Ruth Lang. What's the name of her character in Ozark? What is the name of Julia Garner's character in Ozark? Ruth. These pictures should match. Yeah, but Ruth what? Is it Langhorne? Langmore. Langhorne. My bad. I knew it was it's Langmore, Ruth Langmore. So look, just as a rising star, Julia Garner, brilliant. But yeah, I think in terms of depth, we've got some really, really amazing actresses. I know you're supposed to call them actors now, aren't you? I still call them actresses. Call me sexist. Okay, that'll probably do today. Like I say, I'll be back tomorrow with episode 470. Landing the plane at 30 minutes now to nick everyone else's, how to terminate a live stream, how to end a live stream. But look, there's stuff coming up. Like I say, I will certainly unbox the S22 Ultra a week tomorrow. Very excited by that. Software update available, brilliant. So yeah, look, tomorrow and moving onwards, episode 470 tomorrow. This has been episode 469, 12 noon. It's a new time, and I am Justin House, TrueHouse, saying goodbye. Same time, same place, same face tomorrow. Cheers.